Every time there's a new Arena Fighter release, there's always a whole bunch of people that are just very upset that it's an Arena Fighter. My hype has died. Arena Fighter. Or you're only mashing one button. It's not about if it's an Arena Fighter. Personally, it's about bad Arena Fighters. I personally understand how y'all feel a lot of the times. Literally, we had Jump Force that ruined it for a lot of people, and a lot of people's perception, even wanting to buy an Arena Fighter since that game came out. But I've watched the Bleach Rebirth of Souls trailer 1,000 times, and I see some things in there, even from the little tidbits and information we know, that this game will probably be one of the better Arena Fighters outside of upcoming Sparking Zero. I have to say this before we go any further. Bleach fans, y'all need to glaze this game like slobber on that shit. Listen, more people are hyped right now, not because of the type of game it is. More people are hyped that Bleach finally got a console game since Soul Resurrection, which was about 13 years ago. You know what, I'm gonna make this sound worse for everybody right now. The last Bleach fighting game was Bleach Heat the Soul 7, I believe, and that came out in Japan only September 2nd, 2010. And the last console Bleach game was Bleach Shattered Blade, which came out October 9th of 2007. So if we being honest, Bleach hasn't had a Bleach fighting game since 17 years ago. That's whack. Now you're probably wondering, who the hell is Tamsoft Corporation? Tamsoft has been around since the PlayStation 1 era. They have worked on Battle Arena Toshinden 1 through 3 and still surviving throughout all of these eras as well. You might know of these two games that Tamsoft has worked on, or may have seen them in passing at one point. They worked on Gintama Rumble on PS4 and Captain Tsubasa Rise of New Champions. It was probably one of the most fun anime game experiences, even though I don't like the concept, that I've played last console generation. And famously here, I gotta talk about it. In one of their prominent games, I just like anime titties. I'm so unserious right now. They worked on Onitshabara Z2 Chaos and famously known for the Senran Kagura series. They worked on both Senran Kagura Estival Versus and Senran Kagura Peach Beach Splash. So I personally feel like their track record is God tier because those games are honestly some of the best anime games in their style and in what they do. I honestly feel like Tamsoft is a very underrated company. However, if this is their chance to shine, and with the budget they are probably given for this, they might blow up after this game, and I'm gonna explain why. People that don't know, I will be using Senran Kagura for the example because this is strongly what I feel like Bleach will be, or somewhat in between it. Specifically Senran Kagura Estival Versus. It's gonna be a hard video to edit because I can't put all the titties and shit on screen. They might cook me, so we'll figure it out. So Senran Kagura Estival Versus has a lot of depth in this gameplay, and we're gonna break down some just basic things that even me coming back from it since 2016 to 2024. So a lot of y'all probably looked at the trailer and was like, yo, it looks very great animation wise. And Senran Kagura has some really good animations for its game. Arguably, even up there with CC2 and Spike with Dragon Ball Sparking Zero right now, to be honest with you. They've been beautiful since forever. But let's start there. How do you think Bleach is gonna work? I think from the story mode perspective, they're gonna have a lot of cutscenes and things like that to happen, but it will fit the mode of a Muso / Arena Fighter, which what Senran Kagura Estival Versus really was. Also, by the way, in the footage, if you see like the glitchy face and shit like that, the PS4 version on PS5 sucks. Like they didn't update it or fix it. It's very glitchy. I'm not gonna lie to you. And you're probably like, well, is it gonna be floaty? Well, if you look on the Steam page, they had a little combo snippet or a GIF of some gameplay of what it looks like Ichigo doing like an air special move. And it was slowed down because it's a GIF, obviously, but it would probably be faster in gameplay. When it comes to movement in this game, I'm not gonna lie to you, this game got some of the best anime game movement of all time. I won't lie at all. One thing you'll notice instantly when you play this game is how good dashing feels. It's like little bursts of energy. And I think Tamsoft was perfect for this because they can probably emulate like side steps or AK Bleach's flash steps really well. Even in the air, you can hit dash with a lot of characters up to 2 to 3 times. So it's not floaty if y'all hate One's Justice. I don't want to do this today, okay? Even in the trailer, there's a moment where you see Ichigo fighting Byakuya, and that's pretty much at the end of the Soul Society arc. What's cool about this scene is that you see animation attacks and strings from Ichigo that remind me very similar of some characters in Senran Kagura Estival Versus. And a lot of times when you do combos in Senran Kagura, you also can burst out of them, or you can use your transformations as burst as well. So it has a lot of defensive options in that game to fighting off a lot of onslaught of attacks. The coolest thing about Senran Kagura Estival Versus that I really like is you could combo people and get wall bounces off them in the game, and you can also convert off them if they're floating in the air with a dash. And there's moves in Senran Kagura Estival Versus that either track you down toward an opponent or just do big AoE attacks to knock people away because it is part Muso, and then you could convert off of them from a dash as well. Defense is also really good, like I stated earlier, because you can hold, block, and spin in a 360. I don't know if it's going to be like that in the arena or PvP part of Bleach Rebirth of Souls, but that could be a promising feature across the board. There's another part in the trailer where you see Ichigo fighting Renji in Katakura Town or in just the park or something like that. And again, what's really interesting about this is you got this giant counter hit on the screen with the words and text, and that could be one of two things. Number one, that could be end of a round. Number two, that could be a story mode thing. And number three, it could be a counter hit. I know I added extra on last second. If y'all play Guilty Gear Strive, you know how like the emphasis on counter hits are always very important in that game. I think that's really cool in Guilty Gear Strive, even if you don't like the other aspects of the game. Seeing how they make impactful hits feel good, I think that's something this Bleach game will do compared to other arena fighters, having unique ways to hurt and damage players as well. I think already Bleach Rebirth of Souls already captures one of the coolest aspects of Bleach. When people get hit hard in that show, they get fucked up. It's also funny, one thing I noticed is from the maps, generally from what we've seen so far, they feel very similar to both Estival Versus and Bleach Rebirth of Souls in space and being huge. We know Bleach Rebirth of Souls is coming in 2025. However, I got an early speculation that Bleach or this game will drop towards the end of the 1,000 Year Blood War Season 3 or shortly after it. Also, since we know that the game is starting from the Soul Substitute Reaper arc to an Rancor arc, we know that the game is not gonna still be trying to put in those elements. I already think 1,000 Year Blood War would be DLC, or they might trickle in some characters and things like that in the base game anyway. So I think since we also know that 1,000 Year Blood War is slated to be 26 episodes, I'm expecting the earliest we might get this game is like March or somewhere early summer. That depends, I could be 100% wrong on that, but I'm speculating from like Q2 to Q3, and worst case scenario, unless something happens, probably by October of 2025. Also, let's dispel the one button thing. Senran Kagura, Captain Tsubasa, all the other games, Gintama, even going back to the PS1 with Battle Arena Toshinden, they usually have more buttons than most games. It's not just Square Stone. This is not Dragon Ball FighterZ Bardock here, okay? Senran Kagura does have characters have multiple strings, and multiple strings do different things. There's some combos that lift characters in the air, some characters that knock combos back so you get a wall splatter, put them on the wall or have them float up, and there's some combos that just do strictly straight damage and hard knock them down. At the end of the day, I want every game to cook. If you're excited for something, be excited, show the world off. Like, people glazing Sparking Zero on Twitter already, and I'm super excited for it. People have said they loved it and played it, etc. All this already, but it's not even out yet. And you know what happens when we get pretty games that play bad. That's all I'm gonna say. That being said, it's your boy Avataryaya. You guys are golden, and that is raw. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe. I'm out for more anime game, fighting game, and everything else in between content. You guys are golden, and that is raw. Squalla, peace, and I'm out.